Welcome to Film Fanatics, presented by St. George News. I'm Adam Mast.
And I'm Bruce Bennett.
How are you today, Mr. Bennett?
Not as festive as you,
Yeah, if you weren't able to tell, we're doing a little Christmas show. But you know, we did a Christmas show last year, and we talked about conventional movies. Right. It's a Wonderful Life, right. Christmas Story, Elf, Miracle on 34th Street, Christmas Vacation.
I'm sure everyone remembers.
Yeah, and everyone knows all about those movies. So we thought this year we'd be a little more adventurous and maybe talk about some films that are more unconventional, an unconventional Christmas list, if you will.
I love that. Yeah. But you know why I'm really excited about this show, Adam? Because sometimes we have to review shows that aren't that good. Yeah. All of these 10 films we're going to talk about today are great.
I think so. And no repeaters.
No
so
repeaters,
I'm going to throw it to you. You go ahead and start.
My list?
Yes,
Very
sir.
good. My number 5 of my favorite non-conventional Christmas movies is Trading Places, which came out in 1983. Ralph Bellamy and Don Amici play two commodity brokers who make a bet whether they can take common criminal Eddie Murphy and make him a successful businessman in the company. Now, unfortunately, for the unpleasantly framed Dan Aykroyd, is the victim of the devilish switcheroo, and his Christmas won't be a happy one. But he does get help from a street-smart hooker played by Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, yes. A John Landis classic, Trading Places.
Absolutely. And, you know, it is R-rated, but you can find it on cable all the time.
Awesome. What's your next one?
All right, my next one is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, a movie I know you love.
Love!
You bought it for me for Christmas one year. A murder mystery brings together a private eye, a struggling actress, and a thief masquerading as an actor for some Yuletide fun. This is demented film noir, to be sure, and it bombed at the box office, but this may be one of director Shane Black's best films.
I agree, and he loves to have a Christmas tinge in all his movies, Lethal Weapon and Iron Man 3 included. Lethal Weapon barely missed my list.
Right, great.
What's next?
I knew you would love
Absolutely
that one.
Great.
Number 3 is a little more family-oriented. The Family Man came out in 2000. And this, do you remember when Nicolas Cage was a good actor, Adam?
Oh, I think he's always been a good actor, but he does some weird stuff.
Here he stars as a fast-lane investment broker, and in some Christmas magic, gets to see how the other half lives and wakes up to find that his sports car and girlfriend have become a minivan and a wife.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of heart. I love this film.
It's got an It's a Wonderful Life thing going a little bit in there.
I would say it's a modern day It's a Wonderful Life.
Absolutely.
My next film is 2002's About a Boy. This Oscar-nominated story features Hugh Grant as a rich, child-free, and an irresponsible Londoner in his 30s who, in search of available women, will eventually be taught how to be a man by a 12-year-old boy with problems at school. The film ends with a sweet Christmas time gathering.
I really like that film.
Tender, sweet, and witty, just what we want. And my number 1 film, Adam, you know I have been practically a missionary proselyting about this movie, how great it is 2004's Millions. And this award-winning British film, during the robbery, a big satchel of money falls literally from the sky on Damien's cardboard playhouse, a 7-year-old who enjoys talking to dead saints. The boy then starts seeing what the world and the people around him are made of when he decides to give the money away. This incredibly sweet and smart film ends with the cutest school Christmas play you are likely to see in any season.
Directed by the great Danny Boyle, who made Trainspotting of all
we didn't know how great
things.
he was going to be, but he hits it out of the park every time.
Bruce, I love your list, but
Wonderful.
I'm not surprised. We have a lot of great stuff in
common.
Great.
Now, how about your list, Adam?
All right, I'm going to start number 5, a little film called War of the Roses, which I absolutely love.
A little darkness in your Christmas.
Absolutely. It's Die Hard meets Divorce Court. In this jet black comedy from director Danny DeVito. That's right, director Danny DeVito, who also has a little bit part in the film. In War of the Roses, Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas play an estranged couple who duke it out in a bitter divorce over the course of a turbulent holiday season.
Remember when they were the hot
Romancing the Stone, absolutely. This is a darkly hilarious cautionary tale about what happens when being civil is thrown right out the window.
It's very sad.
Yes,
it's not going to lift your
It's a dark comedy, but it's
fantastic.
Especially if you're
in a bad marriage, do not watch this film.
But we're in good marriages, so we got nothing to worry about. Next on my list, 1984's Gremlins, which some would argue is actually a conventional Christmas movie, but this is one of those movies that people debate all the time. Don't get them wet. Keep them out of the light and never feed them after midnight. Joe Dante's Looney Tunes-inspired creature feature finds a sleepy little town under attack by an army of monsters that were spawned from a cute little furball called Gizmo. This movie is funny, it's dark, it's high energy, and it's very Christmassy.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it.
32 years old, I can't believe it.
Oh, it still holds up. Absolutely love it. Next on my list, a film called The Ref, which I absolutely love. Another R-rated one. But, I mean, what are you going to do? It's fantastic. A cat burglar played by Dennis Leary gets more than he bargained for after he breaks into a home owned by a bickering couple played by the great Kevin Spacey and the equally great Judy Davis. Forced to take the agitated couple hostage, Leary quickly realizes he'd rather be in jail than deal with this couple.
Again, a dark comedy.
Yeah, The Ref was directed by Ted Demme, actually brother of Jonathan Demme. And it sort of plays like a distant relative of War of the Roses, actually. And had The Ref opened in December of 1993 and instead of March of 1994, it might have been a bigger hit. Right. But The Ref, fantastic. Right. Check it out. Next on my list, Edward Scissorhands, which is another film we both love.
I knew you were going to put that on your list. It would have made my list.
It's so great. Tim Burton's contemporary fairy tale tells the tale of a reclusive man played by an outstanding Johnny Depp with scissors for hands. When an Avon sales lady played by the great Diane Wiest plucks him from his constrained surroundings, Edward is introduced to a world he never knew existed. This film is certainly magical, if a tad rough around the edges, and answers that age-old question, where does snow come from?
Right.
It's magical, absolutely love it. Number one on my list, Bruce, I'm not a fan of memes at Facebook, but I gotta tell you, there's one that's been circulating around the last couple of years and I absolutely love it. And the meme goes like this. There are two different kinds of people in this world. People who think Die Hard is a Christmas movie and people who are wrong. And I absolutely love that meme. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Of course it's a Christmas movie. Aside from taking place on Christmas Eve.
Any man will agree with you.
I hope
and
so.
A few women.
And some women.
You
Aside
bet.
from taking place on Christmas Eve and featuring a story about a man who will do anything to protect the woman he loves, Die Hard also features this prophetic line of dialogue. Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. It doesn't get any more Christmassy than that.
I thought there were some other lines in
there.
there.
No. We'll avoid those. This is a very R-rated movie. As far as I'm concerned, this movie is perfect holiday viewing.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful. That's
I mean, there are so many.
Roll. Come on.
All these films that we didn't even get to mention. I had a few honorable mentions. Rocky IV, the big fight takes place on Christmas Day, actually. Ice Harvest, which is a film that Harold Ramis directed, which you're not a huge fan of, but I absolutely loved it. Lethal Weapon, of course. And a movie from 1974 called Black Christmas. You knew I wasn't going to get through the show without mentioning a slasher movie. But the one thing that makes that movie special, it was directed by Bob Clark, who would go on to make a little movie called Christmas Story several years later.
Well, there you go. That's a fantastic list, Adam.
Too many.
Yeah, so there's plenty of movies out there if you want to watch something. It's just a little off the beaten path. And that's why you come to Film Fanatics, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. Another special episode wrapped up. My name is Bruce Bennett, film critic with madaboutmovies.org.
And I'm Adam Mast with Cinemast.net.
And we're Film Fanatics.
Are you? Yeah, Krampus, another one, more recent one that came out last year. So some great movies.
That's definitely a Christmas movie, though, don't you think?
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. It's another one that's a little dark around the edges.
Yeah, it just really shouldn't be a movie whose theme is centered in Christmas. These all are almost like Christmas movies in the periphery, if you will.
Yes, good choice of words, my friend.
Yes.
That deserves a high five.
All right. Merry Christmas.